This mother and daughter don't want you to see their faces, to know their names or where they live. They are just breaking free from the terror that is 764.
They wanted her to take her life, and she was terrified.
The mother also asked that I replace her voice with a computer-generated one, but the words are all hers. She explains how predators are scanning online games like Minecraft and Roblox for young girls. They also prowl X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook groups about self-harm and eating disorders for girls who may be especially vulnerable. Her daughter was suffering anxiety and depression at the age of 15 when a 764 member contacted her and several others joined in.
Some of them got her to cut their usernames into her, and basically what they are requesting from the victims just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
The mother confirms what investigators tell me. Once 764 members have any sensitive information or photo of a girl, they threaten to expose her to her family or school if she won't do what they want. For added pressure, 764 members sometimes call in phony reports of crisis at the victim's home.
Police!
So police arrive, guns drawn, a process called swatting. It happened to that mother and daughter.
Turn around.
And the swatting happened because she wouldn't kill one of our cats. So that was the same person who had been trying to get her to take her life.
And to live stream it. She also says they sent her daughter, just 15 years old at the time, a suicide manual, the same one mentioned in the latest federal complaint filed last month against alleged 764 leaders. Prasan Nepal, 20-year-old resident of North Carolina who went by the username Trippy, and Leonidas Verigiannis, a U.S. citizen arrested in Greece. He went by War and is now fighting extradition.
But there's different motivations that really drive some of these actions. They could be what we call an accelerationist ideology, which is essentially, looking for the downfall of society.
The special agent in charge of San Francisco's FBI office tells me the agency has more than 250 investigations underway, with each of its 55 field offices across the country handling 764 related cases.
And so the FBI is working hand in hand with our partners, our federal, state, and local partners for training, for awareness, and to work together collaboratively to really combat this threat.
The FBI has arrested several prominent members of 764 over the past few years, including 28-year-old Henry Ayala of the San Fernando Valley, charged with child pornography just last month, and 47-year-old Richard Densmore of Michigan, sentenced to 30 years in prison for sexually exploiting a child.
I have little children cut themselves for me and do weird.
That's Densmore speaking on Discord before his arrest.
And I record it. I have other people record it. And then, I'm part of a cult, like a really bad people cult.
This group is also a terror threat. They try to goad children into committing acts of terrorism, school shootings, things of that nature.
Becca Spinks is a self-defense advocate, competition sharpshooter, and private investigator who has been researching 764 for years, fielding calls for help from victims and their families, and providing information to law enforcement.
Taking down the leaders was a really good first move, but it's far from over. We still have a long way to go to make sure that we're controlling this and make sure that nobody else steps up to the plate to lead the group now.
How does this end?
As in, how do we stop them?
Yes.
I don't mean to be pessimistic, but at this point in time it feels like it's too big. It's just this disease that has spread throughout the world. Could be the kid next door in their bedroom, who is doing the most horrific things to another kid on the other side of the world, and the parents don't know.
That mother's daughter is set to testify in at least one case underway. It could be more. The victims are young, but so are some of the predators. Several teen 764 members have been arrested. By the way, victims can also be male. Bottom line, watch your kids. It's so important to get involved in what they're doing online. The companies, including the makers of Minecraft, Roblox, and Discord, all say they are aware of the issue and are taking steps to stop those who would prey on children.
Just so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, going through the story, reporting it, I had to look at some of the stuff. And I mean, I've had some nightmares, and and as a parent, this just really gets to you.
Yeah, it's just sick
Pathetic and
and
infuriating.
twisted.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just curious, what does 764, does 764, does that mean something?
Yeah, the guy who founded 764, he's from Texas, and 764 was the beginning of the zip code where he lived. Of course, he's now in prison for decades, but that's how the group got the name.
We have these like organized extortion groups where, and there's a...
What's the name of this group again?
This group's called 764. Okay, and it's really not just one group. It's all sorts of different groups. And they're basically based on Discord and other social media. And I want to reference, and I don't know if you could ever get this girl on your show, but there's a woman on Twitter. She's an investigative journalist. I'll have to give your info. Her name is BX. She's done some incredible reporting on this group to the point of like, she's been threatened by them. It's been pretty bad. And essentially what it is it's a collective of chomos, bad people who target kids from communities on Discord, Roblox, and like maybe bulimic Discord groups, and like just kind of marginalized kids that are struggling maybe emotionally or mentally. And they kind of chummy up to them, try to be their friend, you know, whether it's a friend or a love interest. Maybe they get them to send them a photo of themselves, tell them their name, where they're from. They then progress to grooming them, essentially, to send them photos of themselves. Jeez. Whether it's...
They're doing this on Discord?
Yes. Whether it's naked or whatever, they'll then do it, and that's when they have them. And they'll basically use this to extort them. And they'll say, like... And they're all... A lot of them have become, like, very powerful in terms of they're doing this to so many people that the other kids in the group are looking up to the kids that are doing this, and you almost have to earn your way up to the top to do this. So what they'll do is they'll get like some young girl and they'll say, and this has been documented, you can look this up, bite off your hamster's head on camera, and if you don't do it, we'll put your pictures out. And I'm finding that like it's way more than that. Like they'll have people carve stuff into their skin, mutilate themselves, light themselves on fire, kill people on camera.
Kids kill people on camera.
Yeah, there's a case out of Romania. There was a kid that was involved with 764 where he was on a Discord call. It's recorded. He's on a Discord call where he's talking to a kid and he says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you see in the distance, there's a little old lady. She's like taking her garbage out. He's like, I'm going to do it. And he goes, show me.
Oh, it's a video call.
Yeah, it's a video Discord call. And the guy's like, show me. So he shows him and he walks up to the lady, sprays her with like pepper spray, and she falls down and just starts kicking her in the head. And then he slashes her throat and he like walks off and he's like laughing.
If you have a child, if you know a child, if you have a sibling, if you have a friend that has a child, please watch this video. I just went down a very disgusting and disturbing rabbit hole of information regarding a group called 764. Basically, any platform that you can think of. Roblox, Minecraft, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook. They are on all of your child's sites. Basically, this group targets young kids on all of these different social media platforms. They convince them and manipulate them to do SH and to send explicit photos. As far as the SH goes, they target the kids that are depressed or maybe going through something. Like, think about it, your kids are getting on the chat room, say that, you know, you and your husband are going through a divorce or whatever. They are finding these chats, telling these people all this like information so that these people can console them, but instead they are brainwashing them. They are encouraging them to do the self-harm. They are asking for videos and pictures of kids carving their usernames into their skin. They are saying, oh, if you don't do this, then I'm gonna kill your family. I'm going to like come to your house. I'm going to your school. I'm going, like, they basically manipulate them to where they feel like they have no other choice. And the same with the explicit content. Some of them are so young that they don't even understand like why that's bad. They're too young to even understand the concept of why that is wrong, and they are getting these explicit pictures from these kids, and then they're saying, oh, well, if you don't do SH, if you don't do this, if you don't your cat, your animals, siblings, if you don't do this, then I'm gonna release those explicit photos and videos that I have of you. I'm going to release all of this information. They are literally blackmailing them. They are making kids commit S on live stream. As far as I'm up to date with, the FBI already has like over 200 and something cases all over the United States because they just keep popping up. They just keep popping up. It's good for your kids to build community, make friends, game with friends, but you need to know that they are talking to strangers as well. And you need to search your children's social media for this 674 group, because too many parents are losing their kids due to this group. You don't have to be that over helicopter parent, overly controlling, but you do need to monitor and check their social medias for this group or for any other, check their chats and make sure, because there are tons of these groups. This is just the one that's being talked about right now, but there are other groups. You don't have to be the overbearing parent, but your job as a parent is to protect them. And if anything happened to your child, as a parent, you would blame yourself for the rest of your life. So just don't take the chance. No parent thinks, oh, that's going to be me, until it is. So don't take the chance. Check your children's social media. Monitor their chats, because you do not want to be put in a situation to where this is you and then you blame yourself because you could have possibly stopped it from happening. I do just want y'all to be aware that if you do find this in your child's chats and everything, you do need to contact the police immediately, because these people find your address. So there are several parents that, they have been swatted in their house because this person that was telling their child to SH didn't hear back from them, didn't get the video back, and so they did an anonymous false call. And that is traumatizing as a kid, to be swatted down in your house. So just make sure that if you do find them communicating in these groups on any social media, that you contact the police immediately and let them know what is happening, because these predators, they will try to do anonymous calls. They say that they're gonna your whole family down your house, all of this stuff. So just better to be safe than sorry, that if you do find this on your child's account, contact the police immediately. And if you are seeing this video and you know other people that have children, please send this video to them. Please let them know what is going on, because I didn't know if I should make a video on this, but it was heavy on my heart. And I just want to warn any other parent out there, because this is truly disgusting. It's truly terrifying to think that these parents are going through that, and that could possibly be you and your child. So just be aware, be present in your children's life, give them privacy, but to an extent, and let other people know about what is going on with this group so that they can be aware and so that everybody can protect their children as best as they can.
Many of you have been asking questions about the 764 network, and we thought to answer them all in one video. We won't be able to go in core details because of TikTok content policy. So what is the 764 network? It's an online extremist group that started as a fringe community but quickly turned into something far more dangerous. The group is linked to child exploitation, psychological manipulation, and promoting harm through encrypted platforms. Authorities say it isn't just about content, it's about ideology. The group basically pushes for mistreatment, chaos, and control, often targeting vulnerable children. Law enforcement now calls it one of the most disturbing online networks ever. Now, what is the structure of the 764 network? 764 isn't just one group, it's a network made up of smaller cells and subgroups. The most notorious subgroup is called 764 Inferno, but others include names like CVLT, Court, Kaskar, XVN, Leak Society, and many more. Members often have ranks, roles, and even quotas for the type of content they're expected to produce or share. They use internal lore books as a form of digital currency. The more disturbing the content, the higher the status. It's structured like a cult mixed with organized crime, but online. What are lore books in 764? Law books are digital collections of content. Members collect and trade them to gain status or rank in the group. The more malicious the content, the more power or respect it brings internally. These files are often stored in encrypted folders and used to control members. They aren't just files, they're part of the group's power structure. Why is the group still growing even after arrests? Because the group is decentralized. After arrests, members often break off and form new subgroups with different names. They share manuals, strategies, and even recruitment tips to keep it going. As long as platforms allow anonymity, they'll keep rebuilding. What is comms in the 764 network? In 764, comms stands for commands, usually instructions sent to victims or lower-ranking members. They are often used to pressure or manipulate people into completing malicious tasks, sometimes as part of a ritual or challenge. These commands are sent through encrypted platforms like Discord or Telegram, Roblox, and usually involve psychological harm. Refusing a comm can lead to threats, blackmail, or expulsion from the group. It's one of the ways the network maintains control and spreads harm across. Who founded the 764 network and what happened to the founder? 764 was founded in 2021 by Bradley Cadenhead, also known online as Felix. He was just 15 years old when he started the group, naming it after the zip code of his hometown in Texas. What began as a small online community quickly turned into a violent extremist network. In 2023, at the age of 17, Cadenhead pleaded guilty to multiple charges and was sentenced to 80 years in prison. He was the first to fall, but the group didn't end there. How many countries have 764 members? It's not just a US issue, it's global. So far, 764 linked arrests and investigations have been reported in at least 12 countries. These include the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Italy, Sweden, Brazil, Australia, Spain, Romania, Moldova, Greece, and more. How many high-profile members of this network have been arrested so far, and who are they? So far, over 30 arrests tied to the 764 network have been made across the US and internationally. Some known names include Bradley Cadenhead, 17, Texas, sentenced to 80 years. Leonidas Varayanis, 21, arrested in Greece. Prasan Nepal, 20, arrested in North Carolina. Cameron Finnegan, 19, from the UK. Caleb Merritt, 22, Texas, sentenced to 350 years. Angel Almeida, 22, from New York. Kyle Spitzer, 24, from Tennessee. Mikhail Chikikvishvili, 20, from Moldova. Many others remain unnamed due to their age, but arrests have happened in 12 countries and the list is still growing. What is the FBI doing about 764? The FBI has launched over 250 active investigations connected to 764 across the US, with every FBI field office is handling at least one case linked to the network. They're treating it as more than just a criminal group. They've labeled it a form of violent extremism. The agency is also working with law enforcement in other countries to track members, dismantle subgroups, and protect victims. This is now a top priority investigation and the crackdown is still ongoing. How does 764 recruit new members? 764 often recruits through gaming platforms, Discord and Telegram. They target users aged 8 to 17, especially those who are isolated, struggling mentally, or seeking community. It usually starts with harmless conversations or edgy humor, then slowly shifts into darker themes. Once someone's in, they're often pressured or manipulated into staying silent or participating. It's calculated and dangerous. 5. What should parents or teens look out for? Watch for changes in behavior, secretive online activity, or sudden interest in violent or extreme content. Be cautious about platforms like Discord, Telegram, and Roblox, especially when used privately. Check for usernames or messages referencing numbers like 764, 8884, or CVLT. Most importantly, keep communication open, ask, listen, and stay involved.
As HackRed.com reported earlier, 2 men have been arrested in connection with 764, an online malicious network built on abuse and psychological terror. Leonidas Varagianis, aka War, was arrested in Greece. Prasan Nepal, aka Trippy, was caught in North Carolina. Both are U.S. citizens. They're accused of running 764 Inferno, the core of the group. Court documents say they didn't just want to harm, they wanted to destroy civilized society. If convicted, both could face life in prison. This takedown is part of the DOJ's Project Safe Childhood. By December 2024, the FBI had already arrested a 20-year-old man named Baron Martin in Tucson, Arizona for his malicious activities related to 764. So who founded 764? It was Bradley Cadenhead, known online as Felix, who was just 15 when he started the group in 2021. Ironically, he named it after the zip code of his hometown, Stephenville, Texas. Here's the good news. In March 2023, at just 17, Cadenhead pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 80 years in state prison. What made the 764 group so dangerous was how it operated. Authorities say the people behind it manipulated young users into extreme actions, some involving physical rituals and secret challenges. They collected disturbing content called lore books, which were used to gain status in the group. The FBI called it one of the most disturbing online operations ever uncovered. Think about how serious this was, that even the U.S. Attorney General called it a network built on terror and trauma. Please keep an eye on what your kids do online. Don't let them use social media that's not age appropriate or encrypted chat apps like Telegram. Talk to them. Make sure they feel comfortable sharing what's happening online.
So they have a group that's called 764, guys, and it's really bad. And I feel like a lot of other people need to be using a platform to get this word out. They are blackmailing kids. They are trying to make kids harm themselves, unalive themselves. It is really, really bad. And if you have kids that play Roblox, all the above, anything online, gaming, whatever, please go look it up and study it and talk to your kids. I talked to my kids this morning. When I saw it, I called them all in my room and asked them, did they know anything about this? But a little girl unalived herself. And I remember a story like this a while back where they had a guy that met somebody online and he showed some private things and the person tried to blackmail him for money. And he didn't want to embarrass his family, so he ended up unaliving himself. I'm serious. You need to go look it up. You need to have conversations with your children. This is something that is so serious. Okay? So hugs and love. Y'all be blessed. J-Lo, please go look it up and talk to your children. Bye.
One of the most disturbing online cases that I have ever come across. The 764 Network, a group that is just hiding in plain sight across servers like Discord, different gaming servers, all where this violent content, this manipulation, and this exploitation is running rampant. And the victims are more than times often children. Bradley was online without any parental supervision. He just had full reign on the internet. And by the time Bradley was just 8 years old, he was regularly watching all kinds of videos. I'm talking porn, violent videos, videos of people being tormented, and lots of other just horrific and really disturbing and gory stuff. So one day, Bradley met a fellow player on Minecraft. And like Bradley, this other person loved watching gory videos and scary videos. So eventually Bradley started a Discord chat where everybody could just talk with one another whenever they wanted. So he creates this for all of these like-minded friends that he has met. And he called the server 764. People were trading all sorts of photos and videos that featured violence, gore, animal torment, sexually explicit content involving minors, CSAM material. I mean, the list went on and on. The people on the 764 network were constantly finding new users to bring in, new users to add to their sick little community. And the really sickening thing is that some of the people that Bradley and the others had recruited in weren't even into this stuff. They were victims. And the way they were brought in is because the leaders of 764 were very much into things like control and exploitation.
I'm sharing the story of a father I met through social media whose daughter just ended her life because of social media. I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist, and this is about the group 764. The depths that this group will go to is unbelievable, and it's the reason that people do not understand what's happening. Kids are losing their lives. We think it's unaliving. We think it's mental illness. They are being groomed at times in order to do it. This started on Roblox. She thought she was just talking to another little girl doing small art projects. And then this started to build. It was a grown man, and this man started to extort her. He started to get her to SH herself, and he started to get her to do it on lives. And what this led to was her ending her life on a live. Once he had information about her family and she was in a vulnerable state, he threatened her. He made her feel like if anyone found out about their relationship, that she was in the wrong. And then he doxed the family. Once the family's information was out there, people sent child images to the family. And then he swatted the family. So then the family had police officers and government officials show up to their house, and they had child images on their phones. Ever since this happened, they have continued to be harassed by other groomed members. Now, although government agencies have taken down the primary founders and leaders of 764, they have already groomed individuals to take their place and do exactly what they were doing. They want chaos. They want our children to hurt themselves. They want our children to end themselves. They want to ruin our lives. She had 764 carved into her body. Roblox, Discord, X, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. These are methods for predators who are particularly lazy to sit and watch for prey. They are sitting and watching a pool of fish in front of them, waiting for somebody to be vulnerable, and then that's when they choose the next victim to groom. And every single platform is aware that this is occurring. This is a call of action to the heads of Meta, to the heads of TikTok, to the FBI, to the state police, to Interpol, to cybersecurity, to Homeland Security, to our politicians, up to our president and every other country's administration. This is a worldwide epidemic, and we know how to stop it. They're just choosing not to.
Hello? I have placed 2 explosives inside of Rockville High School, okay? And if they fail to detonate, I'm just going to shoot every kid I see, okay?
Connecticut Private Detective, how you doing? Connecticut parents, listen up. Normally you think of Connecticut as a country area which only supplies a route to Boston and New York. Boring state. But apparently we are stepping it up in the life of crime. So this involves Connecticut teenagers and the parents that really, really need to keep an eye on them.
Disturbing and growing threat. A shadowy network called 764, whose goal is to spark violence and chaos around the world, in part by luring in unsuspecting teenagers. Authorities say 764 is behind a string of chilling threats in Vernon, Connecticut.
Hello? I have placed 2 explosives inside of Rockville High School, okay? And if they fail to detonate, I'm just going to shoot every kid I see, okay?
The call was a hoax coming from overseas, but with help from a teenage girl living right in town.
He was doing these threats with her knowledge and with some of her input.
764 targets kids on social media and gaming platforms, extorting them into sending violent and sexual content.
They will encourage them sometimes to commit suicide. They will encourage them to do cutting. They will encourage them to harm their pets.
They're using basically psychological warfare on children.
That's right. They gain the trust, and then they continue to build that trust to the point where they have power and the ability to blackmail the child, basically.
The suspect in the fake bomb threat convinced that teen he was her boyfriend. Soon she was sharing pornographic pictures of herself and was fully indoctrinated, defacing a Barbie with those numbers 764.
Before it started, she was a child who was on the honor roll. She had a lot of friends, and then slowly that started to change.
ABC News agreed to alter the faces and voices of the girl's parents.
I wanted to scream, "Not my child."
David, the FBI is warning parents to pay attention to who their kids are talking to on social media and gaming platforms. Tonight, the FBI is investigating more than 250 suspects tied to 764, with every field office involved. David?
So keep an eye on your teens' social media accounts and those stupid games, Roblox, Fortnite, whatever it may be. The communication in those games and online is very, very dangerous.
So this is breaking news. The FBI just released a national urgent alert regarding a violent online network that is being called 764, which is a network that has been coercing and exploiting children and teens through popular digital platforms, especially online gaming. And according to ABC, this group is considered one of the most dangerous and disturbing threats to youth safety in recent years. So what is 746? 746 is a decentralized transnational network that originated in 2021. It was founded by Bradley Cadenhead, a teenager from Stevensville, Texas. The name derives from that town's zip code, 764. And this group actually evolved from an earlier entity called CVLT and is closely linked to the extremist Order of Nine Angels, or O9A, a far-right satanic cult. The FBI and Department of Justice classify 764 as a domestic terror organization and as a Tier 1 national security threat. And this is how they operate. 764 targets children aged 8 to 17 years old, often focusing on those who are marginalized or experiencing mental health challenges. Members infiltrate their online spaces such as Discord, Roblox, and Telegram, posing as peers so that they can build trust with these minors. Once engaged, they manipulate their victims into creating explicit content and performing acts of including making symbols and usernames into their, some of them even torturing or unaliving pets, engaging in different forms of abuse, and even to the extent of encouraging them to unalive themselves.
Number one rule in my household, I have a 21-year-old, a 16-year-old, and an 11-year-old. Now, granted, the 21-year-old does his own thing nowadays, but he still doesn't have social media. You have no privacy. Your shit is my shit. We make email addresses together. We make usernames together. My kids used to come home from school with little pieces of paper with usernames written down for Fortnite and stuff, because they told kids at school, like, no, you can't have my username, but I will give you mine, or you can give me yours, and I'll take it home and my dad will look it up. That sucks, but you can't. You've got to be a maximum participation parent, because I love the internet. I wish, as a millennial Xennial, that I could have had the access to the kind of internet that we have now. I didn't get into YouTube, shit like that. Like, I deployed, and I didn't really pay any attention to it prior to that, didn't really have it. Plus, my internet was real slow anyway. So, you have to be the one that is not the warden, but you have to be the one that they see and understand. There's transparency here. They may be keeping secrets from everybody else, but when I walk up to my kids and say, let me see your phone, there you go. No questions asked. No hesitation, ever. All their logins, all that stuff, you just have to have access. The biggest thing is conversation. Conversation, conversation, conversation. I'm talking raw conversation. You tell those little turds, like, listen, I don't care what somebody tells you online or how good they make you feel about yourself or whatever else, or how sneaky it makes you like, or how grown up, whatever. Absolutely not. I am the only one that needs to be like in the realm of existence for filters of your opinion and self-worth, because my children know they're awesome because I tell them they're awesome. But please, let me know, do you all have like a login book? Like, how do you keep your kids' electronic devices in check? I'll stay blessed.
An online network built on targeting children has been exposed.
The FBI is warning that this new network has a potential national security implication, but also in case after case, directly reaching into American homes, targeting teens and their families. Its name, 764.
764. That is the network that has been classified as a terror network by the United States Department of Justice and is considered Tier 1 terror by the FBI. The government has been following this network since around 2021 when it was believed to be founded by a teenager on Discord. This was in Stevensville, Texas, where Bradley Cadenhead, who was a 15-year-old, ended up creating this server and named it 764 after his town's zip code. This group infected websites such as Discord and Telegram, targeting minors specifically suffering from mental health challenges. Now, Bradley created an online persona, convincing victims to share these explicit images and then blackmailing them with those images to commit degrading acts on video that they would have to stream to Discord for everyone to see. A survivor came forward to the Fifth Estate who had actually dealt with this network. She referred to herself as Trinity, stating that she was groomed at 14 years old and extorted for 3 years. She said that when she was young, she had been essayed by a family member, and so she was vulnerable. She got online, she was watching these videos on Discord servers, but Trinity then met a user named MK Ultra who would tell her to kill her mom, and then he would come and pick her up and they would go on a killing spree together. Trinity would say that he turned her into someone that she wouldn't even think of being. She thought about killing her mom. She was forced to go on live stream as she tried to take her life. Thankfully, she survived. She was taken to the hospital where she told the police everything.
The FBI in Pittsburgh is warning parents of internet predators.
There's a group called the 764. It targets minors.
764 and its related groups draw inspiration from a satanic neo-Nazi movement called O9A. They operate in what's called the COM, short for the Community, a digital network of cyber criminals, and prowl on popular platforms looking for vulnerable children to exploit. They lure them into private chats, often disguised as supportive spaces for kids with eating disorders or low self-esteem.
The most horrendous part about it is it's minors doing this to minors. And we're talking about 13-year-olds targeting 16-year-olds, 16-year-olds sextorting 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds.
Marc-Andre Argentino studies extremism and is a world expert on 764. He helps police around the globe, including the RCMP, understand what they're up against. 764's only ideology, he says, is violence.
There's no activism. They're not even worried about, the disappearance of the white race. This is actually a interracial community where they just want to be the most violent, the most misanthropic type of individual they can be.
Argentino says there are 764 cases in at least 24 countries. He works at Public Safety Canada. Tracking 764 here is now a top priority.
There are likely individuals in every single province. There's probably victims in every single province and territory in Canada. The impact that a single individual could have is massive. Some of these individuals, they're targeting dozens of victims on a daily basis.
And they do it for bragging rights and status.
My name is Trinity. I was 14 when I was groomed by members of 764, and I was exploited for 3 years. It just became so painful. I didn't feel real. I didn't feel like a human being. We've tried to tell this story, and nobody's listened. Nobody believes it. It's too obscure. It's too obscene.
So a lot of people came to me and asked me to do things for them.
They would say, like, if you cut my name into your body, then I own you. I got threatened that they would send my photos to my school, my mom, my friends. They would tell everybody everything I've ever done. And like, it was really like terrible blackmail.
How scared were you?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified.
She would say, I need my phone back. They love me. If I'm not on the internet, they're going to tell everybody. They're going to show everybody. You have to give it back to me.
What would happen when you took away the phone or turned off the Wi-Fi?
She would break through drywall to get to me. She would get violent. For many months, I lived in fear that she was going to kill me, and I would sleep with a kitchen knife under my pillow. My animals were behind a locked door. Every door in my house had a lock code.
We first investigated 764 last year. It's when we met Allie Broadway, a young victim in Virginia.
I was scared to death. He would say, if you don't do this, then you don't love me.
The FBI had just issued a public advisory about the danger of 764 and similar groups like CVLT or Cult and Harm Nation. It was accompanied by a series of arrests in the United States and Europe, including Bradley Cadenhead, who was only 15 years old when he created 764 in 2020 and named it after his zip code in Texas. He was sentenced to 80 years in prison for possessing child pornography. Since then, we've discovered the threat is only rising.